Embodiment is the process by which consciousness and the body merge. It is a progressive transformation that opens the body and allows all the good things in life, all the beautiful parts of consciousness and human potential to emerge. It represents the great opportunity and the great challenge. So today we're going to go over the good and the bad.
Wow. There's good news and bad news. The bad news is...
I'm going to start with the bad news. I always like to get the bad news first. And if you like to get the good news first, skip ahead to the good part. So in this video, I'm going to emphasize three things, the three challenges to embodiment. And the first is pain and discomfort. Now, this occurs for two reasons. One, when we think about embodiment, why is consciousness not merged with the body now? Why are we in our heads? Why are our hearts closed? Why have we forgotten our true nature? And this is because the world is traumatized. Arriving here, growing as a human being here, is to live in a traumatized world and to protect ourselves, to manage the overwhelming nature of this human life. Our consciousness fragments and we leave or we separate the overwhelming experiences which we cannot manage. So embodiment necessarily means to be in my body is to feel, to integrate, to welcome, to process all of the things that in the past were overwhelming to me. At every level of my development, I'm storing overwhelming experiences or unprocessed drives or unexpressed emotion, all of these things. So again, this is the hard part. I'm going to have to feel pain and discomfort. And the second reason it's uncomfortable is because this process is such a radically transformative, it's a tremendous renovation to the structure of the body. Again, we grow up through our life, and then at some point we decide we want to be awake or healed or both. And so we turn to this great renovation project called awakening, called embodiment. And it's a renovation project just like it would be if you were going to redo your kitchen or your garage. If your kitchen could speak, it would say, ouch. Again, the finished product is beautiful, but the process is painful. Now, this brings us to the second point. This process takes a tremendous amount of time and energy and attention. Consciousness develops through your developmental process, through your childhood, up into adulthood. Let's say it takes 20 or 25 years for you to become an adult. So what that means is when I decide that I'm really going to embody, I'm going to be here, I'm going to radically transform my life, I'm going to wake up, I have 25 years at least of material to work with. I have so much life to be with. The structure was built, it took a long time to build, and it's going to take great effort to dismantle, to transform. So this process requires a tremendous investment of time and energy. And I should say, not only does this body represent the structure of my life, but it represents the structure of my ancestors and really the history of the world. So to transform, to really sink into this reality, I'm going to have to devote a significant amount of time and energy. I'm going to have to develop skill. It's a huge commitment of time. No short-term immediate gratification. And the third thing is that it is humbling. What it means to embody is that I'm constantly going to be becoming aware of fragments of my development, which previously I was unaware of, which means I'm going to be encountering youngness, painful parts that of myself that have not been nurtured, which means as my goal is to be as functional and healed and enlightened as I can possibly be, but the process is going to be constantly having me confront underdeveloped, impoverished parts of myself, negativity, pain, and this doesn't look or feel good. It means that I'm going to have to apologize in my life. I'm going to be wrong a lot. I'm going to get triggered all the time. Being triggered is essentially the process of recognizing these parts of yourself. Now, instead of waiting to get triggered, you can be proactive. That's a lot of what my work is about learning how to embody before there is a sort of a crisis or before you get triggered. But that's for another video. So this process is humbling. I'm going to have to feel young and scarcity and fear and all the things, even though I really want to be awake and big and powerful and strong and all the other wonderful things. So that's the bad news. We did it. That's it. If you can develop into recognizing that that's not so bad, it's just pain, discomfort, and humility. It's not so bad. Okay.
On a more positive note, the good news is...
Okay, and the good news, we're going to say there's three things. There's so many good things that come from embodiment. I'm going to break this down to just the three essential things. And the first one is non-separateness. Okay, so the disembodied experience means that there is a huge amount of frozen energy in the body, the energy that's not moving, that the nervous system has stored energy to process later. And what that means is that my body feels solid and separate from the rest of consciousness. Frozen energy is what creates the experience of separation. And it is the processing of frozen energy which creates non-separateness. To do this, I have to go towards the body. I have to find the parts of my body where I'm holding energy, and you could say dissolve them or release them or let go of them, feel them so that they move. Now, as this happens, I lose the ability to feel myself as a separate object. So yes, I am physically separate, but for me, I can't tell the difference between my body and the rest of consciousness. There is no felt sense boundary. I feel merged with all of life. And in this merging or this dissolving or in this experience of non-separateness, which happens progressively through the whole body, I recognize the transparency of matter. So yes, again, as much as I am physical, as much as there is a solidity to life, consciousness and my body become transparent. I can see through them. This is how I can recognize connection and the higher dimensions of consciousness and all the beautiful, exquisite structure of consciousness that your spiritual teacher or your spiritual book outlines. It all happens because the body becomes very active, transparent. There's a lot of life energy that moves and creates a transparent space that you can see through. You can see through yourself, through your own body, to realize the love, the light, the awareness, all the beautiful qualities of consciousness that you are seeking. So as this journey happens progressively, the second thing is you accumulate more energy. You have more and more and more energy. The more parts of yourself that you feel, the wealthier you are. And we can say this really amounts to two things. One is there's a tremendous sense of connection, both to yourself and the rest of the world. That the more energy that you have, the more transparent your consciousness becomes, the broader your ability to relate, to feel connected to really all beings. But maybe we break that down to the people in your life, your parents, your immediate family, your ancestors, the people that are in your spiritual lineage, if you come from one, that you feel them all here. You feel them in the same way that you feel your own body. Again, more and more and more and more energy. More parts of self creates more access to the fullness of life, to the whole kind of cosmic reality. Tremendous wealth of connection. More energy also means that your ability to participate in life, to manifest your potential, increases. The more of your energy that is online, that is present, the more you have to offer the world. So when you are looking to create something in your life and it's not working, pretty much universally, you are missing a part of yourself. The gap between you and your higher potential is more of your own energy, and more energy from consciousness, from all of your relations as well. So when we look to express our potential in the world, we realize that in this body, there is a source of energy. There's always going to be more energy, and this energy can be harvested through the practice of connecting with myself so that I can go out into the world and offer more, to create more, to be more. And the third thing is that embodiment leads to transcendence. When I hold contracted energy in my body, it limits my capacity to relax. So by finding, as I come into my body more and more, I find that I am holding energy, that I'm contracted. It takes energy to hold energy. So in my spiritual practice, my intention is to relax, but my body is doing something that counters that. My body is actively trying to contract. I might not know this until I start to feel my body. So the more that I feel my body, the more relaxation becomes natural, and the expansion of consciousness becomes effortless. And this process happens, and it expands and expands and expands until, just as my hands leave this screen, until you transcend reality. This is the path of liberation. This is the path of awakening to the absolute or true nature of reality. It comes because you're able to relax. And the body is the place where you source the release of energy that allows for deeper and deeper, more and more expanded states of consciousness, more and more openness, and more subtlety. So there it is. Now, as always, if you want to learn more on my channel, I have all kinds of videos that break down these specifics. I will link them at the end for you to watch here now. I hope this helps, and thank you.